Okay, this is the beginning of showing what I have done and what I intend to do on my 1978 Endeavor 37, in which the ports were leaking badly because of a bad design from the get-go, which is the Bexon ports to themselves. Why the flange is on the inside and a trim ring on the outside so that the joint is on the outside is beyond me. As a general contractor with 40 years experience, that's like putting the window flange on the inside of the house. It just makes no sense whatsoever. But who am I to know? But anyway, so you can see very clearly what has been done as these ports have leaked. You can see the water trails right there. Has leaked down and done considerable damage to both the 1/4 inch teak veneer plywood on the cabin sides and the what's under the what was actually the deck that's under the deck on the interior, and it's even deteriorated this connection here where the headliner was hidden by a piece of teak scotia mold. So that's what it looked like before I started pulling these apart. And so I got this side, the ports are out. I'm renewing those ports by repairing them and buffing out this sort of many-year haze that's on the plastic back in my garage. And there's the mystery wire, which I have no idea. This wire comes from back there and goes, as you can see, up here, but there's nothing electrical to my knowledge anywhere in the headliner here, anywhere inside. So where that's going is a mystery, which I'm not even sure. It may remain a mystery. I'm going to put it out to Endeavor owners and see if anybody gets it. So what I'm going to do here, you can see very clearly the damage. Extensive water damage that's taken place here. And this is what I'm going to fix. And I'll be filming the stages of this repair as they take place. So I'm going to start today by taking this out under here, saving it as a pattern, taking it home and building a replacement. The water damage was so bad that it went in here, went back and went down here, and has dripped down into this little storage areas that are covered by cushions, and all that interior plywood, or that plywood on the interior of the hull, I'm not sure if it was interior plywood, but all of that's got to come out. I'm going to probably just paint the glass, paint the fiberglass. You can see the woven roving right in there. So I got a lot to do, but all I think within my capabilities. The damage is much more extensive here in the area that was the head. I'm going to pull everything out from here, everything basically, got the walls and ceiling and underneath. I'll leave this plywood back here, but I'm probably going to end up laminating something like Formica over that back sheet, because having that like that and trying to ever think about remotely taking a shower is kind of crazy. So this was actively leaking. We had a little rain last night and this port was actively leaking, and this is all just wet, and you can see where the water's dripped down here on the brightwork. That's the easy part, bringing that back. But basically going to gut all of this, even that right there, which is good. I mean, it hasn't deteriorated terribly, but all of this will be coming out and be replaced. And I've already got all the doors and drawers and all of that back at home in the little teeny shop I've got. And this, I'm not even going to begin to try to describe what whoever rigged this rig. There's a holding tank under there, but this, needless to say, I'm just gutting all of this stuff out and starting over with the head, handling the head. So that's pretty much it. And the galley, of course, like any, I guess this is plan B or plan C, I'm not sure. But I'll be filming some more as I progress and uncover stuff, and then posting progress as slow as it'll be. This is, for me, probably going to be a 2-year project. Included in that will be rewiring the engine. It seems to run absolutely great. It's a Perkins 4108 like most of these came with, but I've got time to do it, and mostly in the winters, and I'll keep you posted on progress. Okay, so I pulled the first one down, and you know, we can see a little bit of what's going on, but the main reason I'm filming right now is just to show this wiring which was under here, which were the overhead lights. And you can, I'm not sure if you can see in that right there, but you can see the color of that. See how these were so green with corrosion, this fitting right here, that they just fell out. So just making note of that, and proceeding with the demo. One more quick note: this is the plywood strips that they had up there, that they had, you know, run screws into to hold that in place. I just was interested to see, this is anything but marine plywood. This is almost some kind of strange hollow core plywood, but it's not marine, and it is completely deteriorated. Just to continue the documentation, looks like they used 3/8 or so on the outboard edge, the inboard edge of that deck, that covering on the underside of the deck here, and interestingly used 3/4 on the outboard side. Were they trying to level it somehow? I don't understand that, or what the reason was for that differential in terms of furring strips. And interestingly, I'm noticing it looks like they used a number, a 14, a 12, it's about a 12. It might be a 10, but it looks like it's bigger than a 10. I don't have another one to compare right now, but it's an 1.25" screw going through 3/4 plywood. So it's going up into the bottom of the deck, 1/2 inch. So that's interesting to note. Here's one left right here from the 3/8. Hold on, and I've got to set the camera down. Okay, that's a 3/4 inch full length screw, and that was fully, again, just about a 1/2 inch up in there. Just interesting to note. Okay, demo on the port side is done, and wanted to just record some of this. The wires were, the lights were obviously, they were running parallel. The blue is the DC for lights, and the gray is 110. I'm probably going to have to redo every single connection, electrical connection, just to ensure that this is done right. But as you see, I've got it all cleared out now. I can put new furring strips on, and I'm going to post a detail that will show how I intend to rebuild this. Also, it gives me the opportunity to look at the upper deck joint, which is very interesting for me to look at. This is that's the deck there, and that's the whole deck joint right there that I can see. I'm going to go right on down, and there's the chain plate. There's a chain plate right there, and I see it looks like there's some evidence of a leak coming from up top. I really can't tell. I mean, we've just had a pretty good rain all night, and I'm just uncovering this, and I'm not seeing any water under here, which is very encouraging. I think the integrity of the hull deck joint might still be good. I did retain some of what I'm going to tear out just to talk to sort of fellow Endeavor owners. You see how they keep this line out from the actual cabin side, which flares back and gives us our gigantic cockpit that the Endeavors are famous for. I wish to heck they had not done that. I would love to have a cockpit a foot or 18 inches narrower than it is and be able to step from the cockpit to the deck without needing a trapeze harness or something, which is what it feels like. But I guess I'll get used to that. Again, I'm extremely disappointed in the quality of the original joinery work. These little teak trim strips, you can see at one point they didn't have enough meat to actually catch it, so they just put some, like, it looks like wood putty of some form, and that's what they fasten the screws to hold it on. It's just, all in all, extremely poor interior joinery. I'm very disappointed. So this is going to come down, and when I go back, you'll see when I post that little detail, you see how I'm going to maintain this line to keep the cabin side fair. They wanted to keep it fair coming down this line here. They wanted to keep it fair all the way back and not actually conform to the cabin sides there. But I'm going to pretty much do as they've done with a slightly different, or an extremely different detail for this junction of the undercover here to the side, the cabin side. So that's where we are. Now I'm going to take all this out now. This is the last little bit of the bad stuff that I wanted to leave for the video. I'm also going to go up underneath here again and follow that. And what I'm hoping is when I post this that some of you Endeavor owners with a lot more experience or knowledge of some of these things can make comments and maybe help me a little. Now, I want to show you some other things too. So, this was obviously leaking quite a bit. It's enough to completely rot all of this. Water was obviously going back here. And then, the way that the undercover here went back and butted into, you can see where that's the butt line of that to this hull cover here, interior hull cover. So if you can see in this video, I think you can see the stain of water dripping down there quite a bit right there. My hope is you can see all the water stain that's been running down here and dripping down here. What's a little troubling to me is I also have it back here, and this is back in that little quarter berth back here. And as you can see down in there, it gets even worse down here. So there's water getting in somewhere here. I'm hoping that it's not this joint up here. I'm gonna drop this cover, which is still good. That's the one in the boat that still seems to be in really good shape. Over the end of the quarter berth, because there were no ports there to leak. However, even this port here, which is in the in the cockpit side, just before the bridge deck, that's got some leaking, fair amount actually. But What troubles me is that water there coming down. Where is that coming from? I'm scared that the only place it can be coming from is some of the penetrations fastening maybe the handrails or whatever, the whole deck joint or anything. So I guess when I take this down, I'll have a better chance of determining that. Let you see in a future video.